All right, well, maybe we'll just get started and people will join in as they will, since it's just after 10. Hi, everybody. My name is Michael Brown. I am a air quality analyst here at Idaho DEQ, and I manage our vehicle replacement program. I've, I think, spoken with everybody that's on, so it's good to see a couple faces to put with names. Today, we are going to do the recipient training for our vehicle replacement program to learn how to upload documents and submit rebate requests. This is being recorded and transcribed, and we will provide links to, I think, both the slides. Whitney, can we do that? Provide a link to the slides and to the presentation, or some variation therein. We'll determine that right after the call, but we'll figure out a way to get the materials out to everybody so that they can refer to them later on down the road. So Mary Anderson is my cohort here at Idaho DEQ. She's my manager and has a very significant role in our program, but will probably be mostly taking a back seat today, which is fine. And then we have, oh, I'm sorry, Whitney, I don't know your last name off the top of my head.
Schumacher. It's okay.
Schumacher, and Whitney Schumacher from Euna Grants, who is the provider for the software application that we're using. And Whitney is going to be the main lead on the training today. You'll hear me piping in here and there with tips and advice, and also here to ask questions. And I think I mentioned that we're being recorded. We're going to send that out later. So I think, without further ado, Mary, unless you think I missed something, I would just turn it over to Whitney to begin.
All right. Thanks for the introduction, Michael. I just said I'm Whitney Schumacher. I'm a senior implementation manager at Euna Grants, and I'm going to walk you through your award and how to do some action items. So what those action items are going to be, I'm going to show you how to log in, how to add users, how to actually navigate to your award, and then I'm going to show you how to upload your proof of purchase documents, check out your budget, and probably what you're most interested in today is your request for rebate. And each of these items, I'll do the live demo for each. So I'm going to talk about stuff and then we'll go in and I'll actually show it to you. All right. So either yesterday or today, your account owner for your portal got an email about your award activation. So what that means is now your award is available in your recipient portal. So this is what the email looks like. If you did not receive an email because you are not the account owner, you can just log in as you logged in to maybe apply, and that will also, your award will also be available for you. So if you are not the account owner, as long as you have enough security permissions, you will still be able to view your award in your portal. All right. So as I just said, the email goes to the account owner. If you would like to switch your account owner to somebody else, that's totally doable, and you can have an admin do that for you. So the account owner can do it for you, or if you are an account admin, you can also switch the owner. To do that, you'll go to the administration module, the license area. You'll click the edit pencil and you'll be able to swap who's going to get those award activation emails. As I said before, if you are not the account owner, but maybe you were the person submitting the application and now you have the award, you can just log into your gotomygrants.com, your normal login. Because you now have an award, it will look different than your applicant portal. There's going to be much more indigo, purple, bluish, and that's how you know that you're in the right spot, and you will also be able to access your grant. A best practice is to always have at least 2 account admins in your account. So what an account admin can do is they can add additional users, they can update other people's access, they will be able to view both your grant and your applications, and kind of be able to manage your own portal. So we'll go through this in our live demo, but basically in order to add a new user, all you need to know is their first name, last name, and their email address. So we'll go through this, but this will be also done in the administrative portal. We'll go to system security, users, we'll use the plus icon, we'll create our user, and most importantly, we will send them an email invite. So that's where they can set up their password. All right. So after you have a couple users in there, you know your account owner is who you want your emails for new awards to go to. We're going to go ahead and navigate to our award. So we're going to use our left navigation on the side. We're going to use the grant management area. We're going to click on the word grants. We're going to have a grid of all of your grants available to you. We're going to go ahead and choose yours, and then we're going to be on the award itself. At that time, we're going to assign a recipient manager. And what that recipient manager does is that it's going to receive all of the emails for that award. So that means it's going to receive the payment request approval emails. It's going to receive the payment request rejection emails. It's going to be kind of like that lead primary contact. So you'll be able to select one recipient manager. If you'd like to assign other people on that award as like other contacts and be able to have them do stuff on the award, you'll be able to assign them in the field below it, the recipient additional users. But I want to point out that only the recipient manager is going to get those email notifications. All right. One of the key areas you'll be using in your award is called the documents area. So when we navigate to documents, and I'll show you in a little bit, there's going to be a couple folders. There's going to be a public folder, which is what you'll use the most, and then there's going to be a post award folder. You don't really need to worry about the post award folder. That's just the system automatically collecting all the files from other places on the award there. So don't worry about that. We want to focus on the public folder. If you put anything in the public folder, both you and Idaho DEQ will be able to view it, download it, and edit it. So basically, if you upload something in that public folder, they can go ahead and download it, view it. They won't be able to delete anything you upload, but they'll be able to view it. And vice versa. If they put anything in the public folder, you're able to view it, download it, and kind of be that sharing link. So,
and Whitney, are you going to be going to, like when you do the demo, you're going to be going to something that looks like that?
Yes.
Okay, then I'll speak to it then.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
So in this public folder, you can see in my breadcrumbs, I am in the public folder. They have set up 2 folders for you that you're going to utilize. And then outside of those 2 folders, they have your agreement that you can always access and view. So one of your items is that proof of purchase. So you are going to navigate to your proof of purchase document folder that is already set up for you, and you're going to go ahead and upload that document or documents in there. So it's on your award, accessible for DEQ to access and download and make sure it's okay. After,
I'll just add real quick that if you're going to have one proof of purchase that's going to be for multiple vehicles, that you just need to make sure that those vehicles are listed in some manner by VIN or some other some other differentiation. Thanks. Sorry, there you go, Whitney.
Yep, you're good. All right. So after you upload that proof of purchase, we're just going to mark that it's completed. So we're going to navigate to a task area, and we're going to find that proof of purchase task, and we're going to mark it off complete. And I will also show you that in the demo as well. All right, so we're going to do our demo now. What we're going to do, we're going to add users. We're going to navigate to your award. We're going to assign that recipient manager that's going to get all those emails. We're going to look at your award. We're going to look at the sections that you're going to use. And then I'm going to show you your budget, which will lead us into our next topic. I'm going to call out that I'm in a sandbox environment. So what I see here, so what I'm saying is do not use my exact URLs to log in, because that will not work for you. So I have logged in to Euna Grants, and the first thing I want to do is add a user. So I'm going to go to this administration module, and then I'm going to go to system security. I am left clicking on that gray arrow to get there. Can you guys see my screen, or do you want me to zoom in?
I can see the screen, but it looks like a blue arrow to me.
Could be blue. Do you want me to zoom in? Yes, no, maybe? There, that's probably better. All right, so administration module. System security, I'm left clicking on the arrow or triangle, and I'm going to go to users. If your Euna Grants login name is admin user like this, please edit it so Michael and Mary can actually see your actual name instead of just seeing admin user. To do that, you just go ahead and click the edit pencil, change your name, click save. All right, so I want to add a user. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this plus icon in the top right. This subscription to daily email, I would go ahead and leave that selected. If you get too many emails, then come back and unselect them. But essentially, this is how you're going to receive those notification emails that your task is late and due and stuff like that. So I just leave that alone because you shouldn't be getting too many tasks. There should be only one in your award. For this security area, these are like sections of your portal. So an account is going to be everything. And then it's kind of split out between applications and then grants. With your guys' functionality, you guys do not have departments, so don't worry about departments. You guys just have your application, which is your applicant portal, and then your grants, which is what we're trying to look at here in a second.
And if somebody accidentally hits departments, or
it's not going to do anything.
Oh, okay.
Because you just don't have any. Yeah. So okay. If you select departments, it's essentially going to do the same thing as not selecting anything. So, like I said before, I think you guys should all have at least 2 account admins. So they're going to have rights to change your organization name information and add users. So if you're going to do that, you're going to select account, and then you're going to select admin. So they are going to have applicant access and all access to all grants. If you would like somebody to have access in order to see everything and edit everything, but you do not want them to be able to add users, you can make them an editor. So there's going to be these eyes that will help you determine. And then if you go ahead.
Real quick, I just wanted to interject because there are some circumstances in which the account owner or the person that submitted the application or who is named as the authorized representative is like a superintendent for a school. But the individual that's doing most of the daily work interacting with the project may be the transportation supervisor. And so I guess I just want to make clear that as you're adding users, that it's important that the person that's going to have that daily interaction, the project manager, if you will, have the level of access, say admin, to be able to receive all communications and be able to interact with the UniGrant solution software freely.
Yes, that is a very good point. When you're adding users, make sure that they have enough access where they don't have to keep asking to get assigned to the next grant, unless that supervisor is going to be in UniGrants and be able to assign.
Correct, yeah.
If you want somebody to just be able to view everything and not edit anything, you can go ahead and give them view access. All right, couple scenarios. So with this, you can also just assign people a specific grant and not see anything else, not see other grants. If that's the case, you don't have to select anything, and they will only see stuff and be able to interact and add stuff to things that they're assigned to. If that's the case, you can go ahead and just leave the object type blank. So what is going to happen is you're choosing the security role here, but if you assign it to an award, if you assign them as like the additional user or the grant or the recipient manager to an award, it's going to kind of supersede that, and they'll be able to edit the award. For example, if I'm just giving somebody user access to everything, but I assign them to an award specifically, that means that they'll be able to edit that award because they're assigned to it. All right. So if you want people to be able to add users, that you need to go to the account area. If you don't want people to add users, I would just suggest selecting grants. And then if you want them to be able to see all of the, see and edit all of the grants, you select them as an admin or editor. The difference between an admin and editor on grants is the admin can view the administration module, the editor can't. So they still can't add or change people's access. If you want someone to just view all of the grants, I would just make them a view only grant. All right, so I am going to add a second user, and with best practice, I'm going to make them an admin. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. These are advanced rules. I wouldn't worry about these for you guys. They're probably not applicable in your situation. But if you select something here, again, it's going to supersede what was selected. So just don't worry about the advanced restrictions. All right, so let's say I'm adding Jane Doe. And all I need is that. If you want to fill out their other staff information, you can, but you don't have to. And this email address that we're creating right now is going to be their login. And I'm going to go ahead and click create. And I have created all of their profile. You can edit their security role later if you need to. And now the most important part is to make sure that they get an email so they can set up a password. And to do that, you're going to go ahead and click on this send invitation icon. It is a mail icon. So that's going to go ahead and email them. All right. So at this point, we have 2 users in our account. So we're going to go ahead and go to our grant. So we are going to go to this grants management module, and I'm going to go ahead and click on grants. This is going to bring up your list, like a grid of grants. You have some key information here, and we're going to go ahead and select the link that is on the award name. So when you click into the award, your kind of home screen for your award is called the details page. And it's just going to be like exactly what it says. It's going to be information, just like overall information about your award. So we have our award name. This is the name of our test recipient portal. So that's going to be your portal name. It's approved. I'm getting $100,000. A key area I want to point out is this approved invoices field. This is going to be how much you are paid. So this is a good number to look at. For all of these informational fields up here, there's going to be a I that you can hover over, kind of read about it. So this is going to be your approved payment requests. So you'll want to look at this frequently, and your grant funded amount is how much your actual award is. And then when I go to this post-award information area, you got your key contacts at DEQ that you can contact. We got Michael as your funder manager, and then additional user is Mary. We have your agreement number here in the award identification number. And then just further on, we got some special dates for you, your agreement start date, end date, and closeout date. And as I go to the bottom, again, it's just how the total amount of my award. So what we want to do here is assign our recipient manager. So I'm going to click the edit pencil in the top right. I have a couple fields that are editable for me. If you wanted to change your award name to make it more specific to you, you can go ahead and change it up here or just leave it. But you still have the ones that DEQ entered for you. And then what we want to actually change is our recipient manager. So I'm going to left click. I have a list of all of my users in my account so far, and I want to make it Jane Doe, that the user we just added. If you want to add additional people to this, you can add them here. So I could add that admin user, which remember that I would highly suggest we change their name so you can actually see who they are. And then I'm going to go ahead and click save.
Whitney, can I ask you a question here?
Yeah.
So for each of the recipients, whoever, they are going to be the primary point of contact on the grant. First, you would add them under admin, security, users, and then you have to basically go in and assign them a role, right?
Yes.
And if you don't assign them the role, then what happens?
When you say role, you mean like recipient manager, right?
Yeah, recipient manager.
So depending on their security role, they most likely, if they still have that edit ability and viewing all grants, they could still do everything, and they could still submit payment requests and upload documents. It just means that they won't receive the email for like approved and rejected payment requests.
Okay, so that's the important part, is because if anything
Yes.
gets rejected, we want to make sure that each user or the primary person's account is going to receive that. So that's very important for everyone to understand, that is assigning that recipient manager role once you add a user. So,
Yep.
Okay, good.
And
Thank you.
You just have one recipient manager. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep. The additional users do not receive the email notifications. So additional users is optional. It's more just if you want to make sure that people, if you had other awards in your account, that they can't see that other stuff and do stuff on the other ones. But recipient manager, you for sure want to assign that primary contact that's going to get all those emails, because if you do not assign a recipient manager and a payment request gets approved or rejected, it's going to go to the account owner. And as you know, the account owner may not be the one managing that grant, and they may just ignore that email because they have like they're not thinking like, oh, someone's trying to request money. Yeah.
Yeah, it could. Yeah.
And this recipient manager field is something that Michael doesn't have access to edit on his side. Only you guys can assign that recipient manager.
But will I have access to see if
Yes.
it has been assigned? Okay.
Yes. Just
And
like
the
how they
recipient-
can see you, you can see them.
And we can enter an email at the time we name the recipient manager.
You will need to create the user first.
Okay.
So you'll add that email when you add the user.
Yeah. You'll create the user first, and then you'll be able to select them as the recipient manager. Any other questions about emails or this award details page? All right. We're going to go check out the documents area. So to go to documents, we're going to go to post award. Oh, sorry. We're going to go to tools, documents. So I'm left clicking on this tools top navigation tab, and then I'm going to left click on documents.
Oh.
So now I'm in the documents folder, and I see the public folder and the post award folder. We don't need to really worry about the post award folder. It's just automatically going to kind of accumulate any documents that are elsewhere on the award. But we're going to go into this public folder. And as we talked about earlier, anything in the public folder, DEQ can also view. So if you accidentally add something outside of that public folder, they can't see it. They can't view it. It needs to be inside the public folder.
Whitney, we're able to, just so everybody knows, and ask to ask the question if this will continue, is I'll also have the ability to upload documents to these folders. Okay, because you'll see there's the proof of purchase documents. That's like if you click on there, that's where you will upload your POs or your invoices. And then the forms and checklist folder is going to be where you can get things like the rebate request form, the scrappage certification form, and there's also going to be attachment C to the agreement, which is the document. It's a list of example. It's a document with examples of photos and what type of naming convention is helpful. Because when you guys go to scrap your vehicles, let's say you have 5 vehicles, well, you're going to have to get documentation that is cutting the chassis, getting a picture before you cut the chassis rail in half, after you cut the chassis rail in half. The engine before you drill a hole near the cylinders, and then after you drill a hole in the engine where the cylinders are, excuse me. All those photos are going to need to be uploaded, but in order for me to associate a picture with a vehicle, I'm dependent on some type of convention of putting all those photos in a folder or going through the step of naming each photo in correspondence to either the last 4 digits of the VIN. It could be VIN chassis rail before, VIN, 3289 chassis rail after. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. This is where you'll see examples of those photos and the type of naming convention that's helpful in terms of processing the rebate request. The more information I have in the upfront part, the easier it is and faster it is for me to approve those rebate requests. So that example, that document with examples. Yeah, go ahead.
A question on that. Do you submit them both at the same time, or you want to approve the before pictures and approve them and then do after pictures?
No, you just submit it all at once. So take your before pictures in your scrapping process, cut the rail, drill the hole, take your pictures, then you submit everything, the invoices, the photos, you refer to the agreement. It'll tell you exactly what documents you need to provide and what photos. But yeah, all at once is the short answer.
All right.
Sorry, Whitney, I derailed us there for a second.
No, your information is probably more useful than my information. Okay, so after I went to tools, documents, and then I went into the public folder. Your agreement will also be there. To download it, there's going to be this download icon. So I could go ahead and download it. It opened in a new tab, so then you can just save it to your local computer if you wanted to. And then we're going to open each folder. So like it's kind of nice to do like just a right click. I'm going to open a new tab for my new folder. So at the top, you'll also see the breadcrumbs where I'm at. I'm going to do this one first because he just talked about it. So in your forms and checklist, there are going to be stuff there, the information that Michael just said. So that is for you to view and download. Check that out.
I will say real quick, those documents are not there now, but they will be shortly.
Perfect. The proof of purchase folder is going to be empty, and that's where you're going to upload your proof of purchase documents. So to do that, we're going to be in the top right. We're going to use our icon, and we're going to choose the upload documents folder. Don't accidentally click on the create folder. Just click the upload documents. I'm going to choose my file. And I'm going to go ahead and select. I'm going to go ahead and click upload. So I've uploaded. You see I have an edit pencil, a trash, and I can download what I just uploaded. If you needed to upload another one, you could go ahead and click upload again. But that's how you upload your proof of purchase documents. Michael, do you want to add anything about uploading proof of purchase documents? Or is that self-explanatory?
I can't think of anything else. I guess maybe if we, take a moment and see, are there any questions? Is everything clear so far to all of you? I can do that because we don't have like a very large audience, but just want to make sure everything's clear so far. Again, we're going to have these slides available and hopefully the recording, and I'm also available for questions, but we want to try to minimize that if we can. Not that I'm opposed to them, but Okay, Whitney, I think unless Mary, if you can think of anything else, otherwise I think we're good here.
All right. So after you upload your documents, you're going to go ahead and tell DEQ I finished that. So we're going to go ahead and mark that task off as complete. So we're going to go to this Tools tab, and we're going to go to Tasks. And this is as easy as it seems. So I have my proof of purchase task. I'm going to go ahead and just left click this arrow, and it's going to mark it as complete. If you wanted to click into it and see more information about it, I just clicked on the name and there's a description. So you can do that as well, but it's the same thing. Just click the little check mark and you got it completed. All right, so now we're going to take a look at your budget. So we're going to go to this Post Award tab. We're going to go to Financial, and then we're going to go to Budget. So here's my budget. When you first view a budget, it's going to look blank because we got to do one special thing. We got to go to this options area and we got to left click on line items so we can see all of our line items. The next time we view this budget, line items will already be selected. But if you go to your budget and you think it's blank, make sure you select line items and you'll probably be able to see it. So with this budget, I have my 3 vehicles that I can submit for, and I can see exactly how much I can submit them for based on my agreement. So vehicle 1, I have 50, vehicle 2, I have 25, and vehicle 3, I have 25. So as we talked about that, now we're going to go ahead and talk about our request for rebate process.
I'll just pause for a minute here. I wanted to say that those references, vehicle 1, 2, 3, and 4, are associated with the VIN in the application and how we identified them in the application, and then it went into the agreement. So as you interact with the Euna grants, Euna grants is the system that we're using to maintain and operate within the grant. The sort of the very specifics about what the grant allows and doesn't allow, and how we refer to the vehicles, whether it's vehicle 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, and what VIN is associated with vehicle 1, vehicle 2, 3, 4, and 5, is all going to be in your agreement. And so when you look at vehicle 1 here on this expense budget, just know that's the same vehicle 1 that's in the agreement. And so the dollar amount that's listed here should match what's in the agreement. If you see any discrepancy, of course, let me know, and then we'll get a resolution to that somehow. But just know that the vehicle 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5 is not just simply generic. It's associated with something specific in your agreement. So that's all I wanted to say, Whitney. Thanks.
Perfect.
Good.
All right. So let's talk about that request for rebate process. So basically, it's very, very simple. We're just going to go ahead and create a payment request. Michael's going to review it, and he's either going to approve it or reject it. So if he rejects it, you're going to get an email, and it's going to say it's been rejected. And you can go ahead and resubmit it. Just fix the payment request and resubmit that same payment request. If he approves it, he can either approve it for the amount you requested, or he will approve a lesser amount. And again, you'll get an email on that as well. And as a friendly reminder, remember the recipient manager is receiving these emails, not necessarily the person who submits it. All right, so we are going to do a demo of this, but this is just some screenshots so you have reference later. So we're going to create our payment request. How you're going to name it is you're going to name it to match that budget line item that we just viewed. So in our example, it's going to be vehicle 1, vehicle 2, vehicle 3. As Michael said before, yours will be much more specific and be labeled better, but basically, we're matching our budget line item, so he knows what you're actually requesting for. If you want to request more than one line item at a time, just put both of those in the budget request name, and you only have to do one payment request. So very, very easy. We're going to name our payment request as our budget line item we are requesting for. Our payment type is going to be a reimbursement. And then in our financial details area of the payment request, we're going to enter a requested amount, and then any attachments that you'll need for that stuff from that checklist folder that's actually been filled out, all that type of stuff, that's going to go to the attachments. And then there's a box for comments if you just want to communicate some specific things or clarify anything. Maybe Whitney, from your attachments. Yep.
Whitney, when you upload a document, are you restricted to doing one document at a time, or can you grab a directory of files?
That is yep, that's a good question, and we will try in our demo if I can do more than one at once.
Okay.
I know you can't just like drag and drop, but we'll see if we can select more than one at once.
Okay. Because in some cases, you're going to have recipients that are going to have to upload, 15 to 30, file, photo files.
Yep.
So it'd be nice if you could do it all at once.
And I believe our file type maximum size is like 1 gig, I want to say. So we should be fine.
That should be enough.
Yeah. I hope you don't have a gig in a payment request. So. That would be a very intense payment request. All right. So we're going to do a couple scenarios. We're going to submit for vehicle 3 in our example award. And we'll go check out that budget, but we're going to request $25,000 because that's what the budget line item says. And we're going to attach our attachments. And then our second scenario, what we're going to do is there's going to be a rejected payment request, and I'm going to show you how you can fix that. And then we'll also look at a payment request that was approved for a lesser amount. All right, so remember, I'm on the budget. We're going to do vehicle 3. So I can see vehicle 3.
Whitney?
Yep.
I'm sorry, could you go back one step and go from outside of this page and then back to this page?
Yeah, I'll go way outside.
Just demonstrate how you get back to the budget.
Okay, let's say different day. Now I'm ready to submit my payment request. I logged into my Euna grants. I get this calendar. I got my left navigation over here. If you want to minimize it or maximize it, you can use this arrow. I like sometimes where it's wide because I can actually read the words. I'm going to go to this grant management section, left click, and I'm going to click on grants again. If you click on that arrow, it's going to give you like all of this filtering and more filtering than we need. We're just going to click on this grants area. So I'm going to have my award list of if you have more than one award, even through a different grantor that uses Euna grants, it would be here. I'm going to go to the hyperlink under award name, left click award name, and it's going to hit me at my home page where I can verify how much my award is for and how much I've been previously paid. So I've previously been paid $18,000 in a previous payment request. So let's say I want to check out my budget to verify what I'm requesting is not over that amount. So I'm going to go to post award, financial, budget. I like to open it using multiple tabs. I think that's easier. So this time I'll do right click, open a new window. And I need to go to my payment request area. So that's post award, cash flow, payment request. All right. So I'm going to go to my budget. Remember, hey, my line items now show up because I had selected it last time. I'm doing vehicle 3, so I can see that the maximum I could get for this is $25,000. So that is how I know how I fill out my payment request. All right. So I flipped to my payment request page. Again, post award, cash flow, payment request. It's a grid of what I have previously submitted. So that's why there's stuff already there. But I'm going to create a new one. So I'm going to click this plus icon in the top right. In my payment request name, it's going to default to your award name and like the date. But I'm going to select all of it and click delete. And I'm going to name it my budget line item that I'm requesting for. So that was vehicle 3. For date created, you can just leave it as what it defaults to. Okay. You do not need to attach expenses, so ignore that. For my payment type, it will default to reimbursement, and you should leave it that way.
Whitney?
Yep.
Earlier you mentioned in many circumstances, a participant is going to submit or going to be ready to submit a rebate request, say, for all 5 vehicles or for 3 out of the 5 vehicles. You mentioned earlier how you can do one payment request for 3 vehicles. And then you mentioned in that payment request name, I think you mentioned something specific, but is it here where you would actually type out something like vehicles 1 through 3?
Yes. So if you are going to do multiple line items, you could do vehicle 1. And obviously it's not going to be so simple as vehicle 1 because you'll have to put in vehicle 2. I did not spell that right, but vehicle 3. So just update the award payment request name to the line item names. So this is a pretty long box, so go ahead and write them out so there's no questions on what you're requesting for and what you're not. Just because your guys' budget line items will be more complex than vehicle 1, 2, and 3. So please write out the line item. Don't say budget line items 1 through 3. You will be specific. All right. So again, payment request, name it how it is listed in your budget. Payment type, you will want reimbursement. Financial detail, this is the most important part. This is where we are requesting money. So this is where I enter $25,000 because that's what was on my budget line item that I think I am eligible for. In this comments box, you can write extra information for the funder to read so they can see this box. So if you want to add anything that's more specific or a reason why, blah, 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 go ahead, enter it in this comments field. And this is where we're going to add those attachments. So I'm going to go ahead and click choose files. I am doing photo documentation and rebate request. I selected 2. Let's see if it works. It did work, so you can do more than one at once. If you screwed up, you can just do that trash and then again choose it. You don't have to reselect it. But this is where you can upload all of those files right here. And then, go ahead. Nope,
here's
go
where
ahead.
I'd like to add one other thing in terms of documents that will help expedite the rebate request review process is that I need a way to associate which new vehicle is associated with which old vehicle, because it's a vehicle replacement program. VIN ending, the old vehicle with a VIN ending in 7300 is replacing new vehicle with a VIN ending in 8200. So if you were able, and if you're replacing more than one vehicle, you can understand that the number of attachments is going to get unwieldy. And so if I know that each photo is associated with a VIN, and you give me some kind of summary spreadsheet, a Word document, anything that will inform me which old vehicle is associated with which new vehicle, so that as I dive in to review the photographs, if you could upload that along with the files that you're uploading, that would be very helpful. Just some kind of summary that says, this is the old vehicle, this is the new vehicle, and, list it out. Thanks, Whitney. That's all.
And I'll just add to that. In my example, I have PDF documents, but you can upload Excels and obviously other file types. All right. And at this point, we're all ready to go. It's literally that easy. Just enter in your line item you're requesting for in the payment name, enter the amount, attach the documentation, and we're going to go ahead and click submit. If you are not ready to submit it yet and you want to save it and submit it later, you'd hit create, but we're going to go ahead and click submit. So it's just saying, do you want to submit for the amount that you requested? And you're like, yeah. So at this time, Michael, the recipient manager or the funder manager, receives an email that you have requested a payment request, and you will receive an email when he's made a decision on it. So when I scroll to the bottom, there's now going to be a payment request history area. And so it's going to say which user submitted at what time, what they submitted for. When Michael makes the decision on it, he'll be in here too. So you'll be able to see when he did it, all that kind of stuff, besides also getting that email. And another good example of why we like to have our users actually named instead of just saying admin user. All right, so when I am on the screen, if you want to go back to the payment request grid, you're going to click this payment request at the top. It doesn't look like it is a tab, but it is a tab. It is a button. Go ahead, left click that, and you're going to go back to that grid. All right, so that was scenario number 1. Scenario number 2 was fixing a rejected payment request. So you get that email saying your payment request has been rejected, and there will be a box in there, and it will say why. So you can read it there, or I will show you how to view it here. So there's going to be a link in that email. You could use that link, or again, just navigate back to this payment request grid. So I'm going to, you can either click the edit pencil, or I like to click into it because you can view that response box. So I'm going to left click into this rejected payment request. And so, like, this was submitted a week ago. It was requested for $50,000. Here are the attachments that were submitted. On the 20th, there was the decision. And again, we can look at this payment request history. Mary rejected it, and she said that you don't have enough required photos. See your agreement for details. So there will be information here on why it is incorrect. And if she puts comments in the a different area, it's going to be under this response area. So there's 2 places you can look. It will be either under this response area right here, or look at the payment request history for more information on why it was rejected. So we're going to fix it and resubmit it. So we're going to go ahead and click the edit pencil in the top right. So do not create a brand new payment request. Just go to the old one and click on the edit pencil. Everything is going to basically default to what was originally submitted. So perfect. Unless that's what you need to update because you did wrong, it's already going to be up there for you. So I don't need to change my payment request name. That's not why it got rejected. I don't need to change my requested amount, but I can update it if I needed to. But it defaulted to what I originally chose. She said you need more photos. So my existing attachments are still there. I'm going to click choose photos, and I'm going to select the photo or whatever was missing, and now it's there. If you want to add comments to them and say the missing photo is this file, blah, 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 go ahead, do that. Whatever you need to do to make it clear so you guys can get paid. And then we're all done. Again, if you're not ready to submit, you can go ahead and click save. If you're ready to go, all you got to do is click submit again. It's going to ask you again, do you want $50,000? And you're like, yes, submit. And my payment request status is now submitted. If I go to the very bottom of the page, it has updated the user log essentially that I resubmitted the payment request. Real quick, we're going to go back to that payment request grid. So I'm going to click that payment request tab at the top. I'm going to go look at the approved so we can see the status in this column right here. So these 2 are in the submitted status. I'm waiting for DEQ to either approve them or reject them. This approved one, I'm going to go ahead and click into, and this is the example of what was submitted, what was requested was not totally approved. So I just left clicked into that. You will see in the financial detail that requested amount, they originally requested 20,000, but what was approved was only 18,000. So this field does not appear until it's actually been approved. Because obviously when we submitted a payment request, we just had this requested amount. And then here are those funder comments that I was referring to earlier. You can see that they'll put a reason why it wasn't totally, why the requested amount and approved amount are different. So here's what I was talking about, that this is the other area besides the payment request history that there might be a comment from Michael or Mary. All right. That is all I had for you. Before we open it up to questions real fast, I want to tell you guys that if you have technical, if you need technical support, that you can use Euna Grants' customer support. In this slide deck is going to be like a phone number. If you need to call, you can put in a ticket or just any other materials that you can use their support for if you need help submitting a payment request or adding users or all that kind of stuff. If you have technical questions, that they're here for you to answer that. All right. Any other questions?
I just saw something come up. It was, oh, there's a chat. Where do we complete the banking info? Leanne will be sending you a form. We'll be uploading it into the forms folder within Euna Grants that you'll be able to fill out.
Do you only do ACH or do you also do checks?
We do not do checks anymore. Yeah, so it's all going to be electronic transfer of funds one way or another. Is that Monty?
Yes, that was me.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Yeah. I will say, I know we got like a minute left. I don't know if everybody has to rush off, but you know, one of the biggest issues that with the rebate request and what can delay things is not having all the photos you need. You know, only cutting the chassis rail 90% instead of 100% through. Make sure you cut it all the way through. Make sure that the hole that you drill in the engine block is 3 inches. It's sometimes very helpful if you can put a tape measure in front of the hole while you take a picture, or something that gives me some sort of presence of scale. That's very helpful. Sometimes somebody goes in there with just a drill bit and the hole's like that, and that's not gonna fly. Just really refer to the agreement for all of the photos that are required, because that's the one thing that will require a back and forth and delay things if you don't have like one vehicle for one of the vehicle, or one photo for one of the vehicles, like you're missing the chassis rail. So then, you know, I'm going to have to email you or message you and say, okay, it's for this VIN. So just being careful about making sure that you get everything, and really looking at the agreement to focus on all the documents, including proof of payment, something that says that it's been paid for, a canceled check or financing documentation, something that indicates that as far as the vendor that you're buying from is concerned, that's a paid for vehicle. And proof of delivery, a bill of lading, something that tells me that it was delivered. You would think that proof of payment and proof of delivery would be exclusive, mutually exclusive, like you only need one. I paid for it, obviously I have it, but you know, we're beholden to the funding sources that we get the money from. So these are the minimum things that we need. So when something's missing from that list, I'm going to have to go back to you to get that item. And so it's just helpful if you pay close attention to the requirements so that we get it all done the first time. If it doesn't, you know, mistakes happen, we'll work through it, but it just makes it more efficient if you make sure you get everything. Does anybody have any questions? You know, we went through a lot. We're going to have some resources available for you afterwards. I'm here. I'm going to try to, instead of like banging out an email to answer every specific question, if I know that it's in this document, I may just send you the document and say, here, check out slide number 7. There's your answer. The training material to me seems pretty good, but I know that it all flows when somebody's saying, okay, you click here, you click here, you click here, and that's all great. But then you go to do it and you're like, where do I click? And so I think we've all been through that. We have resources here available for you, and I'm here. So just holler. The worst thing to do is to bang your head against the wall if you're trying to accomplish something, you can't figure it out, and you're still trying and trying and trying. Sometimes it's best just to give a call, and we'll get you on the right path.
Great.
Okay, I mean, that is all I had. Whitney, is that all for you?
Yep.
All right, listen, thanks everybody. Again, if questions come up after the call, give a holler, and we'll be sending out the materials just as soon as we have it available to send to you.